So you're going to look a little crazy. And people are going to think you lost your mind. And you are going to step outside of your emotional agreements and bonds with people that love to keep you in status quo, because at least then they can predict how you're going to be. God forbid you showed up unpredictable. Everybody else would have to change around you. And I can tell you from experience, when you step out into the unpredictable and you live life from that place, people in your life that react and get angry, they never loved you, they needed you. But the ones that hang and take the ride with you, that's the people who truly love you. And those people who get angry and say, oh, you hurt my feelings, and you did this or that, and you're just making choices to no longer be a victim or no longer live in fear, and you're not using that person any longer, you're not giving them what they need, they'll show up in your life a year later, or 6 months later, or 2 years later, and they'll say, that was the best gift you could have ever given me. And you help them to evolve and grow as well. So we can't go to a new future holding on to the habits, the emotions of the past. We can't never make our way into a new future. You can't live in a state of lack and think you're going to attract wealth. You can't live in a state of fear and really expect to attract possibility or joy. Because when you let go of fear, you have possibility. Wouldn't you agree? But what is fear? Focusing on the worst case scenario all the time. And you know what? There's a lot of agreement and support in our world to do that. Wouldn't you agree? You got to be a light, though. You got to be a light. When everybody's looking that way, you should be looking this way. And so when I say to know the hidden meaning behind everything, that your mind is capable of that. To see genius in every person. To be present in your life and be a great parent. To be a great brother. To be a great nephew, a great leader, a great boss, a great worker. Not because you're doing it to be liked, because there's no other choice. There isn't another choice. And if it takes you working to get to the point where you liberate yourself, was it worth it? If it took you 3 weeks, 50 minutes a day. Remember the video of the people on the train and laughing? Did you notice in the beginning how much energy it took for those people to hold back joy? Did you notice that? It took energy to hold it back. I mean, in other words, we're insisting on being stuck instead of being happy. I know this because I've done it in my life. We insist on staying where we are. And you have an opportunity to ascend your energy every day. And the same state that those people were in, where they were insisting on using that energy to stay stuck, is the same thing we do in our life. How many people understand? And when I say, okay, it's time to breathe, and you go, all right, I'll try one more time. That's insisting on not letting go and taking the ride with me, not making the journey with me. Analyzing it, why I breathe this way, and why is he breathing that way, and I learned yoga like this, and this isn't the Kundalini. I know. But when you stop analyzing and you just do it, something miraculous will happen. I gave you the physiology. I demystify everything that I teach you because I want you to understand what you're doing and why. And I'm a pragmatist. I will not do it unless I understand what I'm doing and why. I'm not a New Ager, believe me. I don't I don't think that way. I always think, how does this work and how can I apply it to my life? How can I see if this is the truth by applying it to my life? And so, if you decide to not do it, then you are trading possibility for some belief that you have. How many people are with me? And so, you secretly believe in your greatness. You all do. You secretly believe that you can do a better job in your life. You secretly believe that. But when you're demonstrating it, it's no longer a secret. When you're living it, you're no longer hiding it. When you're choosing yourself to be divine, because you understand to the greatest of your ability what divinity is, you won't return back to the Shire and eat bacon and eggs again. You'll be on an adventure. Living in the Shire is living in the familiar. Stepping out into the unknown is where possibility actually exists. So if by chance your body bucks and kicks, you understand now you are not your body. You're the consciousness controlling that body. And when I say use your body as an instrument of consciousness, we are using it to become a creator again, not to live in survival or try to create a new personal reality as the same personality. How is that possible? You literally have to become lifted and become divine, and you have to feel noble and empowered and elevated and invincible and loving and clear. You have to cultivate that in you, but not rely on something outside of you. And we call all those things outside of us necessities, but it's really just the avoidance of pain and the search for pleasure. It's a hedonistic lifestyle. And when you understand that change is uncomfortable, the moment you don't feel good, you search for pleasure, something to make it go away. But when your body is trying to be the mind, because you and I have conditioned it to be that way, and you sit with it, and you wait, and you break through, that's called self-love. And nobody can ever take that away from you, ever. You take that with you, and you begin to have a respect for all of life. You begin to respect yourself, and you don't need respect from anybody else because you're wearing it. And that level of self-respect and respect for all of life is noticeable, it's palpable. You're not doing anything, you're being it. And when you're being that, then you're a magnet to possibility. You're a magnet to opportunity. You're a magnet to freedom. Because you freed the body from the chains of the emotions that kept it stuck in the past, and the body's finally liberated. And that liberation of that addiction is called freedom or joy. And you move from the particle to the wave, and that energy now is available energy that you get to use to create a new destiny with. And if you reach that point, God bless you, where you are so present and that intelligence is consuming you, and you feel so whole in that moment and more like yourself than you've ever felt in the longest time. That familiar, unfamiliar feeling, that is your soul waking up. All the things you thought you wanted, you couldn't even want any longer. Because how could you want when you were whole? Tell me. And that's the moment miracles fall into your lap, because true creation happens from a state of wholeness.